When you discipline, the body, the mind has no choice but to follow. Lockin, mystic, inner world first. Some, to most people, will think that fitness, working out, is all about aesthetics and muscles. But it's deeper than that. When you embody self-discipline, self-respect, self-confidence, you start to carry yourself in a whole different type of manner. And oftentimes, you will get a lot of people trying to humble you because they don't feel that way about themselves. So oftentimes, they got to project. But like I always try to tell and give a piece of advice from, advice, give peace and some advice to do is don't pay no mind. When I was 19, 20 years old, around that age, I remember waking up early, pretty early for this job that I had. And I used to have to drink energy drinks to try to give me more energy. Meanwhile, I was overlooking what was actually really happening. Lack of exercise, poor diet, not getting enough rest. And most people will overlook those habits that's not really doing your body any type of good. Even when it comes to like smoking and drinking all the time. If you're doing that every day or even every week, slow it down a bit. Because even though you might be on the younger side and everything, your future self will thank you that you cut back on that. If you want to do it in moderation, that is perfectly fine. It's like moderation is good. But 90 to 95% of the time, you want to have a good diet. Okay, you want to mostly be eating good, recovering good, feeling good. That means cutting out negativity as well out your life, from people, from music. Let me not try to get too much off a topic, but I know what I mean by this. Take care of yourself. Because you could go to the gym 5 to 7 times a week, but if you are not adapting to what you need to do outside of the gym, then you're not going to see no progress. Because showing up to the gym, that's only one part of it. You got to change your habits outside of the gym. And this is actually where your self-discipline, your self-respect, being consistent on your regimen, play into other areas in your life. You stop worrying about instant gratification. You start focusing on things that build long term, which will always carry throughout your life. Because guess what? People can't take away anything that is built within. And I'm always going to advocate for that. Another time, there was another job that I used to work for when I was younger. And we used to go out, we have to go out at least like an hour away for work. And I remember the time that one of the upper management people told me that don't let bad things affect your day, because it was one day in particular how I wasn't really feeling the best. I was just feeling down about it. I was kind of letting it ruin my whole day. And he straight up told me, don't let it ruin your whole day. And that's how you gotta be a lot of the times. When you're going through adversity, just know that it's not gonna last. Show up for yourself. And see, this is the thing that most people that most people actually do live in, like survival and fear all the time. So their mind is like constantly on that. Meanwhile, they're not even focusing on gratitude, the things that you really do have. Getting so much pressure from society, standards. And if you do that, you'll be miserable. And also the gym is when you're doing progressive overload, when you're putting in effort and you're seeing changes to yourself. It ultimately makes you not even be fazed by what's going on right now. If it's bad, if it's something that is kind of like, I'm not going to say problem, because I'm not really trying to talk in that mind state, but I'm going to really say like, you're going through it. You feel me? It's not probably really looking the best. But meanwhile, you're keeping your cool, you're keeping your calm. And you know things will work out in the end. And I'm going to also use this analogy too. Well, I'm going to use this analogy for people that do watch anime and familiar with Dragon Ball Z. The time that Goku, during the Cell Saga, let me say that first, during the Cell Saga, and Goku and Gohan, remember they was in a holobodic time chamber, and they was going crazy. They was training with intensity, pulling their bodies through the limit, pushing their bodies through their limits. And remember how when they got up out of the time chamber and everything, they were more so on the chill side, not trying to put extra stress on their body. Learn how to actually recover and not constantly try to think that they need to be actively doing something. It's important to realize that as well. I'm not saying you gotta be out here not being, of course you wanna like be out here and be conscious of what's going on and what has to be done. But to try to rush yourself into doing things out of haste is never the option. Because when you do things like that, You're operating out of ego. You're operating out of trying to prove yourself to someone. And you don't want to make moves out of desperation. But Goku's calm demeanor, right? He didn't know how they was going to really defeat Cell. He was just really just hoping for the best. And eventually it did work out because, of course, like, you know what I'm saying, the narration and the way how the theme is and how the way the show is. So eventually it did work out, but still though, like, that can play into like real life as well. He wasn't stressing. He wasn't trying to put fear and be negative to his loved ones and get them so worried. Use that same type of perspective and put it into your life. And I bet you it could change. It can help you see from a deeper lens of what they are trying to teach. Because I noticed when I started changing my sleep, my recovery, my sleep recovery, diet, and I implemented a little bit more exercises in, and I overall seen more improvements. And the thing about me is, I don't chase aesthetics. I don't. Matter of fact, I don't chase anything. I pursue. And I make moves out of alignment. And that's like why it's so important to build your inner world first. Because when you build the inner world, everything else starts to fall through for you. You understand what your purpose is. Even though you might not fully understand it and you might not fully get the whole game plan of how the stuff is going to be like orchestrated or demonstrated, you're still showing up. You having that discipline, that self-discipline. You're putting in effort. You're being consistent. And ultimately, over time, you're slowly, not all at once, you're seeing results though. Keep on focusing on the good, not the bad. It's never about perfection. It's about mastery, inner mastery. And when you embody that, just know you're going to just keep on growing. Not putting no limits onto yourself. Because at the end of the day, you are a limitless being. Constantly evolving, adapting, learning. I'm going to pin my ancient code down in the comments or leave it in the description. One of the two. Like, comment, subscribe. We forever lock in. All give praise to the Most High. Send peace and love.